So it is Monday and we're back. Monday morning and we're back. So, where we are. So what we finished last week is the blaster broke, didn't it? So we still got all them shot blasting brackets to make with our little homemade 30mm bolts, which are brush poles. But we started them, so they're looking. Oh yeah. Now they're looking better. A couple first 15 are blasted. That means we have another quick math, so that means we've got another 45 to go. So, moulding wise, I've cleaned the mixer out, which is now looking a lot better. It's all painted with the blade, because we were making a couple more blades. We make ours ourselves out of ductile, and then just replace them when we need them. But all the pattern equipment is all here for the pressure body. So we're going to be starting that and getting that moulded today. We make one at a time. There's 2 of them total. There's a couple of little caps to make as well to go with them. And we'll also, when we mould this, because it's quite big boxes and we have to joint it a couple of times, it's not just split in half and then that's it. It gets a bit complicated because you've got to do a bit more, couple of more joints up the way with the way it works. And we also have to get the sand pit out. So we actually have a sand pit. So we'll dig the sand out and then we'll probably put the job in there. I assume so, but it's up to David. Just so it's lower, and then when we're casting we're not all the way up in the air. So if we've got to dig it out, got to move all the weights, our crane weights that we use. So work to go ahead with today. So nice and busy for a Monday morning. Couple of there's also the big motor casing, which I haven't shown you yet, but that is in the yard for shot blasting. So we're getting ready to mould the pressure vessel now. We're going to start with the actual mould before we start with the cores, because you can actually make this 2 ways. One way involves a lot of studs, one way might not. We've done it both ways in the past, but we're trying to figure out which is going to be the best way. So, starting off with this section first. We've got a core print that has to go in there, and then we've also got the part that David's putting in now. So that wants to be loose so we can pull it out. There's the main base. And what the piece of wood does, it's on the bottom there. That creates this part of the core print.
It was 1998.
As you see, that's a lot lower.
And just because every time you don't
So that'll make that part of the pattern sit in the mould with that one. And then obviously from there we've got all the cores that go in to make certain parts. So let's see how we get on. So we've ran the first part of the pressure vessel up, so I'll show you where we're at now. So that's the first part jointed up. We had to joint it up for this part over here. Next part, we're going to ram this up, and then that's that part done. So we're now halfway through with moulding the big box, which is obviously there. We're going to have to turn that over and then put the other part on and then ram that up and then put another part up and ram all that up. But we're going to start ramming one of the main core up. So here's the core box. As you see, it's pretty big, and what we've got to do is we've got to put a steel bar in, as it with a hook, so that we can lift the core up with the crane, because obviously we can't lift the core up by hand, and obviously use the crane and lowers it in makes it easier. You're not going to lift the core this size up. So we're just stepping that, get that rammed up, but it's straightforward, just fill it up with sand, and then turn the other one over, and then start that. So we've now got the middle box on the mould, so we're now getting ready to ram it up, but I'll show you. Then, so it is Tuesday morning and we are back in the foundry, the workshop. So following on from yesterday with the mould of the pressure vessel, the mould is now made. We've only made to the two cores for now. We've got a couple more to go, but it's not as easy as just making a core with these. Obviously we've got to put the lifters in, because obviously you're not going to lift them by hand. But I'll show you what the mould is looking like. So obviously we've got one part there, and we also have one part here. As you can see, it's a pretty big mould, and it's going to go quite high. There's the mould on the inside, nice and big. So when it comes to casting it, with it being so high, as I said in the previously, we got to make the boxes come lower, because obviously we're going to be casting at a height, so we don't really want to be, because obviously it's harder. Well, it's not harder. It's not. What's the word? It doesn't make our life easier coming to cast it, because obviously you're going to have to be up there with the ladle. So our option, bring it down, and that is the reason why we've got the sandpit. And here's the sandpit. I'm putting the sand in the barrels because this sand goes back in. I've got a couple more there for it to go in. I've also got sand down the outside, but so far I have started to dig it out. Name me a better job that has a sandpit in it. It's like when people say what you do, say, I make sandcastles. But that's the reality. We've got to dig it out, and then once we've dug it out, we can proceed. We can build the mould up in the sandpit. We'll level that off at a certain height. Got to go bigger because we need it bigger, and then we'll just build it up so that we're not too high, because by the time we put our weights on the top of this, with it not being as big, but obviously you've got to keep the pressure down, it's ideal for what we need. What's happening? So I don't know if you can hear me, but we've got this motor casing in for shotblasting. Absolute beast it is. An absolute fantastic casting, more importantly. This is just in for shotblasting. See, it is absolutely huge. So Steve's going to be blasting this. So obviously got all the rust, we're just going to clean all it up outside. But in terms of casting wise, mate, this is up there with absolutely something special. Not everything, the amount of work that's got involved, actually making the outside casting part of this, and it's old. Can't beat it. Even the end caps or individual castings, it's not something we see on a daily basis, and obviously something this size, not something you get to see, but truly well crafted piece of manufacture. So it's Wednesday morning and we're back. So yesterday we had a bit of a disaster. The dust extractor motor is gone, stopped working. We was getting power to it, so not wearing electrical, but it wasn't working. Kept on shutting off, etc. So I was on the roof of the blaster. I've stripped it down and I've got it down. So I'm going to get it looked. We've got to get it looked at. So we can obviously, without it, you're half knackered because you need it, because it cleans the shot as it goes through, but also cleans the blaster, keeping the dust down, and then the dust gets collected and then it goes away. But that, now it's down, which was a bit of a nightmare because it's not exactly light and you can't lift it with anything. But we've got it here. That's new as well, the motor, but obviously it'll spin one way, it won't spin, just gets stuck going the opposite way. So it needs a service anyway, so I think the bearings might have gone in that. But while I was doing that, David was finishing the moulding of the vessel. It's not all finished, everything's done, but it needs all closing. So I've got to dig the sandpit out so that we can start building it up. But the motor casing, we've done as much as we possibly can. We turned it over one way but don't want to turn it over another way due to the large box. I'm just looking at it now, it's fantastic. The casting on it is, the main solid casting is unbelievable. But it starts to, once you blast it and all the paint comes off, you start seeing little imperfections. But other than that, it's absolutely unbelievable. Look at the size of it. It's bigger than a pallet. You've got your main casting, you've got your end plates, they're a casting, there's another casting, more castings on there and there, and that's a casting. Look at it. You can't really tell now, but this was done yesterday and it's already oxidised, where the rust has obviously already started on the motor casing. But when you blast it and obviously you take the rust off, it oxidises that quick because it's already been attacked. You start to see the little imperfections, look, little bits of. But that's so far for a Wednesday. So we'll have to get that pressure vessel ready to cast. Hopefully we get it cast today and then get to knock it out tomorrow. But we're not rushing it, taking our time. When we rush things go wrong. So we just got to take our time with it. There's no rush on the job. Got a couple of little other jobs to go with it and a couple of little other jobs that have come in. But that's the main priority. We just take our time, get that done. Help each other out. Let's go. It is Thursday afternoon and we knocked the pressure vessel out this morning, which is obviously, hopefully if the GoPro is worked, done a time lapse maybe of it, seeing how, I'll have to wait to see how it works, but if it doesn't, here's the first one. The other one will get made next week. It's got its flash on, but we've got to cut that off. Once it's blasted and it's all finished, it'll be all signed. I got a couple of little jobs in yesterday, but I've just got back from Witness because I've just had to go and pick a post up. So we've got to make one, but I'll show you what the post looks like at this moment in time. I think so. So we've got to work off the original to make the new one. So next steps, we've got to blast it. Let's see if there's any damage. That's a steel tube, that bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Unless we put a proper core in.
We'll have to, we've got to core it, can't make it solid.
Yeah.
We also had a couple of jobs that come in yesterday that we started to make, which are in here. A couple of these little rings, got to make 5 of them in ductile. Got to do the post, I think, in ductile as well, so the lads can weld it on site easier, which is obviously better for them. They don't want to weld cast iron. And then it started making, David, while I was gone, started making some of the cores for the next pressure vessel. But I think we'll probably end up doing that next week because I've got the energy people coming out and run some tests, so I need to make sure that I kind of have something to cast ready for when they come out, so we can do some tests on the furnace and seeing how much electricity it actually pulls out. Electric's a lot. Nowadays, all it seems to do is just go up and up, and obviously we are all electric based, we don't have any gas, so it's quite frustrating, but we've got to get it done. We had a load of pipes being as well. They come yesterday, so they've gone a couple of, about 30 or 40 pipes in total. So Steve's been busy doing that. Motor, the fix that is at a place now that we looked at, we're waiting for the quotation. So we sort of bought something up for the time being for the shotblasting. So I had a price for a new motor, it's come to 1900, just over. So we'll see what the price is to get that repaired, or is it just worth it to buy a new motor. The motor's old, it's like 20 years old as it is, so I don't know if it's worth it, or I personally think the bearings have gone. Because when we had to get the new impeller made up for it, it cost about 1,200 quid. We never got it balanced, so it's sort of one of them. And one of our bronze jobs that we done last year has now come back. We've got to make another one. So bronze impeller, so stay tuned for that. So on Friday, didn't do any filming. So I'll explain what happened on Friday. So on Friday we were on the post. So we started moulding the post. And the way we had to do that is we had to bed it in the sand. So I drilled and tapped it so we could use it with the crane, because I didn't want to lift it. David had a bad shoulder, so it was just like, we couldn't have him doing any heavy lifting. So we put it in the mould, bedded it in, jointed it up, got it out the mould. But obviously we had to core it. So when we started to core it, we had one before we started to mould, more importantly. We had to have carburetor. So over the years you've got loads of different things and everything's all collected. So it was a 5-inch hole, so I found a 5-inch core and it was sticking out about that much, but like it was alright because it's sitting in that end, and then obviously there's not going to sit in the other end of the mould, so it was fine, so we could go all the way. And then we had to find a core box, so we were looking at all the bollards at the top ends of the workshop, and we found quite a lot. We went, oh, they could do, and then we went in the loft, and there's even more bollards. There's so many bollard patterns, it's unbelievable, and some of them are actually pretty decent. There's some bollards that are 20 odd years old. We've got a large variety of bollards, believe it or not. But we found a straight 5-inch bollard core box, which was alright, which was sound for what we needed. So from there, obviously we made it, we put an iron in it as well. And then what we did is we shaped the inside, the core, so it sat in the mould. So obviously, because if it's 5 inches all the way, it wouldn't work and it wouldn't fit in the mould. So we had to mess around with it, do some little bits of work, but we've got it in. We haven't cast yet, so we're going to be casting tomorrow morning. Well, I'm filming that, I'm editing now, which is Sunday. The hard work, and it doesn't stop, does it? So it's where I want to be and where I want to go, and the journey's only just starting for this, so we'll get there. So we're going to be casting Monday, that ductile, and we'll also be starting the other pressure vessel on Monday. We've also got a lot more shot blasting that's coming for more wagon parts, so we'll be doing that, which is, well, Steve's already started. I had to take all photos with identification numbers to get the prices over, and then we got the go ahead, so we've started on that. We've still not heard any update on the motor for the dust extractor for the blaster, so we've obviously got something there in place at the moment, but could do with this one coming back because obviously it's more powerful than what we've actually got. So, but luckily enough, the jobs that are in for blasting, it's all clean metal, so it's all just fresh metal in a way. There's nothing that's going to create too much dust in terms of shot blasting. So we've got just sorted all that out. So we've also got the energy fella coming out tomorrow, which is going to be a bit interesting. But obviously hopefully the mould's done and we're ready to cast, so we'll cast tomorrow morning. I hope. And then we'll cast tomorrow afternoon when the fellas are there. Don't know yet, but I'll show you. I know, hopefully I've already put them in. No, hopefully I've already put the videos of the bollards on the top. I'll overlap them. I've got pictures of the mould. Yeah, bonjour.